Welcome to the first of a three-part series on applications for percents. Don't forget, if you get behind, you can always pause. If you need to listen to an explanation again, you can rewind. You're going to need the notes that were given out in class and some colored writing utensils. So let's get started. We're going to take a look at simple interest. All right, this is not exactly the way your bank account works, but it's similar enough. All right, you'll get into compound interest much later on in a couple years. Okay, so the formula that you need to know for interest is calculated by taking what's called, this is the formula, I equals PRT. I is principal. So this is the money that you have invested. R is the rate at which it's being invested. So this is going to be a percent, and you're going to write the percent as a decimal for our calculations. And the time, T is for time, this is how long your money is invested. Now, there is a relationship between the rate and the time. So you have to pay very close attention to what the problem tells you the relationship between the rate and the time is. So it could be that the money is made every 6 months, every 3 months, every month, every week, whatever it is. So you have to be pay close attention to your rate and your time. And then the I is our interest that we earn. All right, so Sarah is investing $250 into an account that earns 2% interest per month. We want to know, how much does she now have in her account after 7 months? Then, how much does she have after a year? How much does she have after 5 years? There are many different strategies we can use. We can use ratio tables, we can use cross multiplying, number sentences, tape diagrams, all different ways to calculate this. For these problems, we're going to show two ways. We're going to use the number sentence, which uses our formula, and then we're also going to do our calculations based on a ratio table. Okay, so let's first start by using our formula. Whenever I use a formula, I always write the formula first. So I think we're going to do, so we see that this is a 2% interest per month. So 7 months is 7 months. 1 year, I'm going to say to myself, oh, that's going to be 12 months. And then 5 years, I'm going to have to do 12 times 5. So that's going to be 60 months. Like I said before, I need to pay attention to my rate and my time and the relationship that those have. So I think I'm going to do the 12-month one first. So I'm going to say I equals PRT. I is what we're trying to figure out. My P is my principal. That's $250 times my rate, which is 2%. So I'm going to write that as 0.02. And my time for the first one, is going to be 7 months. So multiply by 7. So 250 times 200 times 7 is going to give me that Sarah earned $35 in that amount of time. And you can go ahead and just put these into your calculator. All right, so this is for 7 months. And notice that I'm labeling my work here. So I want to keep it nice and neat and organized. So I'm going to kind of box that off. All right, so I'm going to now do the same thing again. This I'm going to do 12 months. And I'm starting by writing my formula. So trying to get my interest, $250 times 0.02 times 7 months. Times 12 months. There we go. So 250 times 200 times 12 gives me $60. So the interest earned is $60. And so this is 1 year. Okay. So maybe I'll do the other two. I think I'll do them over here. All right, so interest equals principal times rate times time. And if I keep saying my formula as I do the problems, that'll help me better memorize the formula. Okay, so let's see, $250 times 0.02 times, let's see, we did this one, I'm checking them off. 60 months now. All right, so 60 months, which is 5 years, because that's what the problem is asking us. And I plug that into my calculator, and I get $300. So this was the 5 years. Okay, so now though, the question asked, there was another part to the question. It wasn't just how much money is she earning at each of these timestamps. It's asking how much money does she now have in her account. So at the 7-month mark, I'm going to take the $250 she has and add the $35 she earned and find that she has $285 in her account. So this is the earned, this is the had. For 1 year, I'm going to take the $250 that she started out with plus the $60 she's earned, and that's $310. This is her had, this is her earned, and this is her new amount. All right, for the 5 year, take the $250, this is the 5 year now, plus the $300 she's earned. This is what she had, this is what she earns, and she now has $550 in her account. Okay, so that's doing the problem using the formula. I could also, keeping this formula in mind, use maybe a ratio table for this as well. So I can say that, so I think I'm going to, I've started a ratio table here for you, but I think I'm going to add a little bit to it. So we have that she is earning, so she started with, so we'll call this like the money, and we'll put this as the months. All right, so for 1 month, so at no months, she has $250, okay? At month 1, because this is a per month thing, we're gonna take our $250 times our 1 month times our 2% interest, and I see that she earns $5. So maybe I'll put this as what she earns down here. That's what I want to do. This is what she earns. So she's earned nothing. So here she's earned $5. And then up here, we'll keep track of how much money does she have in her account. So that means she has $255 in her account. Okay, so now I think I'm going to multiply in months. So at 1 month, she has $255 in her account. So now I think that I'm going to figure out 7 months, okay? So I'm going to multiply, and one thing, I need to keep these separate. This is up here is like a total, okay? So at 7 months, 1 times 7 is 7, so times 7. 5 times 7 is 35. Hey, that matches what we came up with up here. So now I take that $35 plus the $250 that she started with. Because remember, this top line is just going to be kind of a running total. And so we add those together and we get the $285 that we've already confirmed. All right, so now maybe I want to do the year. So I'm going to take this original amount here. So 1 year is going to be 12 months. So I'm going to kind of multiply by 12, multiply by 12, and I get that after 12 months, she should be earning $60. Okay, so 60 added on to the original amount of $250, and she has $310. All right. So now maybe I want to do, so the question says 2 years, but I think I want to do maybe, this is what she has at the end of 1 year. So I think I'm going to multiply that times 5 because I want to go to 5 years. So times 5, because I know this 12 months is 1 year. So times 5. So 12 times 5 is going to be 60 months. 12 times 5 is 300. Add that to our original amount, and we get 550. All right, well maybe, so this was 3 years, or this was 5 years. Maybe I want to do maybe I want to do 10 years. So I can take my 5 years and multiply by 2. I know the question doesn't ask it, but if I wanted to find out. And so now I'm looking at $600, 120 months, so that's going to be 10 years. And add that to my original, she's at $850 in her account. All right, so that's how you can use a ratio table to figure these out, okay? And it helps you kind of keep a running total. I think on my next one, I'm going to switch up how I do my table, because I'm not sure if this worked the way I wanted it to. And that's okay. I'm just going to switch it up a little bit for the next one. I adjust as I go. All right, so let's look at our next problem. Juliana puts the $230 from her quinceañera birthday celebration into an account for college. She earns 5% yearly if she doesn't take any money out. How much does she have after 3 months, 6 months, 1 year, and 5 years? Okay, so this one I think I'm going to set up differently. I think I want to put my total at the bottom. I think I like that a little better. I'm going to put my months on top, and this is going to be my interest earned. Okay, so my total, just going to kind of separate that out. So for this problem, since I'm already in ratio table mode, I think I'm going to just go with the ratio table for this, and then I can go back and we'll go back and look at what the equation would look like for this one. All right, so at 0 months, she hasn't earned any interest, and she's starting out with $230. Okay, so she's earning 5%, and this is yearly. So remember how I talked about sometimes we have to look at the relationship between the percent or the rate and our time. So I'm looking at 3 months, 6 months, a year, and 5 year. So 3 months, and I think I'm going to change this. Instead of months, I think I'm going to call this time. And that actually matches a little better with my formula. Okay, time. So 3 months is what portion of a year? Because this is a yearly interest. So 3 months is a quarter of a year. So I can write that as 1/4, or I could write it as 0.25, whichever you would prefer, whichever is easier for you. And so I need to know how much interest she's earned. So I'm going to take my 230 times 0.05, because that's what 5% is, 0.05. And then I'm going to multiply it by 1/4, or 0.25, quarter. And I find that she earns 2.875. Well, that doesn't really work because money only goes 2 decimal places. So I see there's 5, which means my 7's going to round up to 8. So she's earned $2.88 in 3 months. Wow, lots of money. How much money does she have in her bank account? She has a whopping $232.88. At least it's more than she started with. All right, so here I multiplied by 1/4. I took the originals and multiplied by 4. Okay, well, what if the time is 6 months? Well, what part of a year is 6 months? That's half a year. All right, so I'm going to take that 1/2, or 0.5, times the $230 that we originally started out with, and multiply that by our rate, which is 0.05, because that's 5% is decimal. and I find that she earns $5.75. And again, I'm using a calculator for all this. So I'm going to take that $5.75, add it to the original that she started out with, and we get $235.75. So this is for 6 months. All right, so 1 year. So 1 year. So that's going to be one whole because, again, this is a yearly interest. Our previous problem had a monthly interest. This is yearly. So now I take my 1 year, 1, times my $230 times my 0.05, which is my percent as a decimal. And I get that she earned $11.50. Add that to the original amount. She now has $241.50. Now let's take a look at 5 years. And I can do a quick check and say, oh, 575 times 2, yeah, that is $11.50. So I know that I'm doing my work right because I can do a couple little kind of quick checks along the way. So 5 years. So now I should actually be able to easily just take my $11.50 and multiply by 5. Or I can use my 230 times 0.05 times 5 years. That works as well. And I get $57.50, which I will also get if I take my $11.50 from 1 year and multiply by 5. Either one's fine. So that means that after 5 years, she has $287.50. So that's using a ratio table to keep my information organized. I can do the same thing using a number sentence just like I did in the previous problems. So let's do 3 months. Okay, so I equals PRT. My interest is what I'm trying to find, $230 times 0.05 times 0.25, which is 1/4. And when I do that, I get $2. So that was where I got the 2.875, which doesn't work for money, or 2.88. $2.88 was the amount earned. 6 months. All right, same thing. I equals PRT. $230 times 0.05 times 0.5. This one's a little confusing because I have 0.05 for 5/100, which is our percent, and 0.5 for half a year. And when I do that, I get $5.75 using my calculator. The 1 year. Start with my formula. $230 times 0.05 times my 1 year. And that is going to give me $11.50. So notice in each of these, I'm just finding interest. I haven't added it to my original 230 yet. Now finally, the 5 year, write my formula. $230 times 0.05 times 5 years. And that is going to give me $57.50 in interest earned. Let me put my labels in here of money. So I still need to go back and add 230 in each of these. So I think I'm going to say at the bottom here, 230 plus 288, or $2.88, excuse me, equals 232.88. Let's see, 230 plus $5.75 equals 235.75. 230 plus 1150 is 241.50. Finally, 230 plus 57.50 is 287.50. Okay? All right, so that's doing both of those, simple interest, using a ratio table. Let's look at 2 more problems. If you're not with me, feel free to pause or rewind. All right, Grace is investing her college savings account of $500 into an account that earns her 15% interest per year. How many years will she need if she wants to earn $900 in interest? So this is probably a problem that's really good for, well, actually either strategy. So let's start with our formula. So I equals PRT. In this one, we know the I. She wants to earn $900. We know that she started with $500. That's her P. And 15% is her rate. So 500 times 0.15, that's 1500, 15% as a decimal, times T. All right, so we're going to be using a little bit of algebra here. So I need to simplify this side. So 500 times 1500 is 75. So 900 equals 75T. Okay, I just multiplied these to simplify them. Now what I need to do is I need to divide both sides by 75 to find out how much time this is, how many years this is, because it says this is a per year. So divide by 75, divide by 75. When I do 900 divided by 75, I get T equals 12. Again, I'm using a calculator. So 12 years is how long Grace needs to wait in order to have earned $900 in interest. So how could we do this with a ratio table? Well, what I would probably do is I would have my years.
At this time, the Reading Academic Clubs, the activity bus is here. Please meet me at the activity bus.
My
teachers,
money
please
earned.
Bring your boxes up with your attendance, and I will refurbish
on the
the snacks. Please make sure you recycle the potato chip bags and the juice
at
boxes
1 year,
so I can turn those into Miss Page. Thank you. Again, the activity bus is out front. Students of the Reading Club, please join us at the bus. The bus will leave in about 5 minutes.
All right, sorry for that interruption. At 1 year, I'm going to figure out how much she's earned. So I'm going to take my 15% as a decimal, and then I'm going to multiply that by the 1 year, and then multiply that by the $500 that she started with. And that's where I get my $75. She earns $75 in 1 year. So now I can just go ahead and start just picking sort of some target numbers. So maybe I'm just kind of estimating. I'm like, okay, well, if she needs to get to $900, then, and this is less than 100, maybe I'm going to need to multiply by 9. Maybe that's going to give me at least a good starting point. Or actually, you know what? I think I'm going to multiply by 2. It's always helpful to have a 2. So times 2 times 2. So for 2 years, that's going to be $150. Okay? So now I think I still want to go back to my original, and I want to multiply by 9. Times 9 times 9. All right, so if I do 75 times 9, that's going to give me $675 in 9 years. All right, so now I'm seeing that, well, this is interesting. If I add $675, $150, and $75, I feel like I'm going to get kind of close here. So 75 and 150 give me 225. And 225 and 675, well, that's going to give me 900. So one of the great things about the ratio table is you can add things. My target was 900. Probably should have put that over there to begin with. And I see that if I just add these numbers up, I get 900, which means that I can then add these up. And I get 12 years. So I've confirmed my answer. Last problem. Isabella's bank account earned her $112.05 in interest over the past year and a half. She started with $1,245. We want to find out her monthly rate of interest. So this time, we're trying to figure out what is the interest that is being earned. So I think I'm going to start out with my formula, I equals PRT. I know that the interest was $112.05. So this is my I, this is my P, this is my time, year and a half. I want to know the rate, but I see this is monthly. So that means this year and a half is really going to be 18 months because this is a monthly rate. All right, so $1,245 times R, we don't know what R is, times 18. So since this is multiplication, I know that I can rearrange these numbers. So I think I'm going to rewrite this as $112.05 equals 1,245 times 18 times R. I'm going to multiply these two. So 1,245 times 18 gives me 22,410 R. All right, well, I need to solve for R, and the only way to do that is to divide both sides by 22,410. This cancels out, and this becomes 1. So I need to do $112.50 divided by 22,410. When I do that, the calculator gives me, whoops, hopefully you can see that maybe. There we go. Calculator gives me this, 0.005. All right, 5 zeros, which means that this is going to be 0.005. That's a teeny tiny number. So R equals 0.005. So what is that as a percent? Well, I know that for this is the decimal form, which means it looks smaller. All right. So I need to move my decimal point over 2 times. So when I do that, I find, let me put that over here, 0.005. Move my decimal over 2 times, 1, 2. So that means that she's getting an interest rate of 0.5% or 0.5% interest every month. 0.5%. Okay, not even a full percent, but 0.5%. All right. Questions? Hopefully you've written down any questions if you had any. If you need to pause and listen to an explanation again, totally fine. Go back, listen to it again. If you have any other questions, feel free to ask them in class. Hopefully this has answered your questions and you have some strategies for calculating simple percent.